Reality's starting to set in, huh, Jerry? Panic time. Jerry Jeudy is finally trying to get his act together because he sees the reinforcements that Todd Monken and GM Andrew Berry have brought in at the wide receiver position. They have brought in weapons to take over his spot. If he don't got his stuff together, his ass will be benched. No doubt about it. KC Concepcion. Denzel Boston.
6 months ago, he was the guy nobody could count on. Now, the Cleveland Browns are handing him one final warning. And this time, there's no coming back from another failure. Something is shifting inside the Browns wide receiver room, quietly, dangerously. And Jerry Jeudy can feel it, because for the first time since he arrived in Cleveland, the team isn't waiting on him anymore. They're replacing him.
It says Deshaun Watson isn't the only Cleveland Brown veteran who has something to prove this season. Wide receiver Jerry Jeudy is also trying to reestablish himself as a Pro Bowl player after falling off considerably last season. Jerry was a standout performer in his first year with the Browns. He had 90 catches, 1,200 yards, and it looked like he was the number one receiver to build around. Instead, Jerry Jeudy took a significant step back in 2025 with his production falling almost by half. 50 catches, 600 yards. He ranked last, and I mean, the Browns, I mean, he was just terrible, man. All these drops. Now you see this right here.
Let's rewind for a second, because to understand how we got here, you have to understand what Jerry Jeudy was supposed to be. When the Browns traded for him, this was supposed to be the fresh start, the redemption arc. The guy who never quite lived up to his first-round pedigree in Denver was finally going to become a #1 receiver. And for one season, it actually looked real. 90 catches, 1,200 yards, a Pro Bowl caliber season that made Cleveland believe they'd found their guy. Then came 2025, and everything fell apart. 50 catches, 600 yards. His production didn't just dip, it collapsed, almost cut in half. And the drops were the real story. Jeudy finished with the second most drops of any receiver in the entire league. Think about that for a second. Not a rookie, not a backup, the supposed face of the receiving corps dropping more passes than almost anyone else wearing an NFL uniform. For a team that has been searching for stability at receiver for years, that's not just disappointing, that's a crisis. And crises force change. So this offseason, Cleveland didn't sit around and hope Jerry Jeudy would fix himself. They went out and got insurance. Denzel Boston, Isaiah Bond, who by multiple camp reports was the most impressive receiver on the entire roster through training camp, Harold Fannon Jr., and another name quietly climbing the depth chart just as fast, Conerson. This wasn't Cleveland adding depth. This was Cleveland building a threat, a message whether they said it out loud or not. Get it together or get replaced. And somewhere in the middle of all of this noise, another name keeps surfacing in Cleveland, a name that changes the entire tone of this story.
Training camp, Jerry Jeudy was seen working out with notable wide receivers, including AFC North rival Jamar Chase of the Cincinnati Bengals. Okay, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Jerry Jeudy, and others worked out at Gold Feet TA. Okay, so it looks like Jerry Jeudy was out there trying to put the work in, trying to get it together. I mean, you got to get it together. You see him right here. You got to get it together this year, Jerry. You got to get it together, man. They're not going to be waiting around on you this year. They are not going to be waiting around on you this year. Bring your hands. We don't got time for you to be dropping the ball all over the place. Catch the damn ball. Work back to the football. It's time for you to step up.
Shedeur Sanders. Because it's not just the receiver room that's under pressure in Cleveland right now. It's the quarterback room, too. And when a rookie quarterback with that kind of spotlight, that kind of scrutiny, that kind of last name is fighting for command of an offense, every single weapon around him matters more than ever. If Shedeur Sanders is the one throwing the football this season, he needs receivers he can trust, receivers who catch what's thrown to them, receivers who don't turn a 3rd and short into a turnover on downs because the ball hit their hands and bounced off. Jerry Jeudy's inconsistency isn't just his problem anymore. It's a threat to whoever ends up under center in Cleveland. And that's what makes this next part of the story so important. Because according to reports, Jerry Jeudy has noticed, during the offseason, instead of disappearing, Jeudy was seen putting in extra work, training alongside some of the most respected route runners in football, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, names that don't train with just anybody. On the surface, that looks like a receiver trying to save his career, but here's the question nobody in Cleveland is saying out loud. Is it too late? Because talent was never really Jeudy's issue. Route running was never the issue. The issue was trust. The issue was, when the ball is in the air in a critical moment, can you count on Jerry Jeudy to bring it in? Last season, the answer was no, again and again and again. And now the Browns have surrounded him with players who might be able to answer that question better than he can. Isaiah Bond isn't just a name in camp reports anymore. He's being talked about as the standout of the entire summer, a rookie threatening to leapfrog a former first-round pick before the season is even kicked off. That's not just competition, that's a warning shot. And it gets worse when you zoom out to how the rest of the league sees this Browns roster right now. Recent national rankings placed Cleveland's overall roster near the very bottom of the league, 31st out of 32 teams, a number that stings for a franchise desperate to prove it's building something real. But buried inside that same set of rankings is something that should terrify Jerry Jeudy even more. Optimism, real optimism. Just not about him.
They scan and kind of survey a bunch of NFL coaches, executives, and whatnot about all the quarterbacks, basically all the players in the league, and come up with top 10 lists based off that. Yesterday, the running backs list came out. Quinshon Judkins was not in the top 10 of their survey, but he was given an honorable mention.
Yeah.
And the perspective was they think he's going to have a monster 2026 year. And then Denzel Ward today in the cornerback edition was 7th. Tyson Campbell got honorable mention as well for cornerbacks. And a lot of really nice things said about Denzel. We'll get to the Denzel stuff here in a minute.
Analysts and coaches around the league are pointing to other Browns as the pieces worth building around. Running back Quinshon Judkins, who, despite missing time and playing behind an offensive line that gave him almost nothing, still flashed as one of the most productive backs in his draft class. People around the league are already comparing his situation to some of the best young backs to ever break out in year 2. Cornerback Denzel Ward landing in the top 10 at his position league-wide. Tyson Campbell earning respect as well. The Browns' defense, their backfield, pieces of this roster are earning real praise. But the receiver room, silence. No mentions, no buzz, no excitement. Just a warning sitting quietly underneath the surface. This group has to prove itself, starting with the man who was supposed to already be the leader of it. So here's where Jerry Jeudy stands heading into this season. A revival career, a rookie quarterback situation that demands stability in every position, a receiver room stacked with hungry, motivated replacements who have nothing to lose and everything to gain, and a national perception of this roster that has almost nothing good to say about the position he plays. Every single one of those factors is pointing at the same conclusion. This is not a prove-it year for Jerry Jeudy. This is a last chance here. Because in the NFL, patience runs out fast. And when a former Pro Bowl caliber talent takes a step backward instead of forward, the league doesn't wait around to see if he figures it out. It moves on without him. Denzel Boston is waiting. Isaiah Bond is waiting. Casey Conerson is waiting. Harold Fannon Jr. is waiting. And somewhere behind center, a rookie quarterback carrying the weight of an entire legacy is watching too, hoping the receivers around him can be trusted when it matters most. Jerry Jeudy says he's ready. He says the extra work this offseason means something. He says this is the year he proves the doubters wrong. But in Cleveland, talk has never been the problem. Catching the ball was. And when the lights come on this season, there won't be any more excuses left. No more off-season workouts to point to. No more promises about what's coming. Just the ball in the air and one question hanging over every single snap. Will Jerry Jeudy finally catch it? Or will the Browns finally move on? We're about to find out. If this story pulled you in, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now, because this Brown season is about to get a whole lot more dramatic, and you don't want to miss a single moment of it.